A long road to get there. But the playoffs secure. Time to find out whether it is the quarters or the semi.
Yeah, the stakes here, maybe not an elimination on the line, sure. We're going to focus in a little bit more on the details. Matthew and Janko talking about the fact that they've played this so many times already this year. Well, last time round, G2 had a hyper-aggressive down the mid CT pistol. This time, 2 in boiler, 3 towards B. So the mind games and the change-ups beginning out the gates.
I liked what they were talking about. An ultimate test of a player and a team.
Sure, a meta within the matchup starts to form.
Yeah, the meta within the meta. Look at this one. Camouflaged behind the lamp. Nico looking to catch him off guard on their clear. Like such nuanced expectations of each other that you're looking to exploit.
Honestly, there's Julie's here at the bottom of this totem pole and a smoke. So keep this in mind if it is a B execute with the util in NaVi's hands. 2 smokes, a molly, and a decoy for good measure on Bit. We're at the 55-second mark. Expect this one to come in soon. Oh, Bit's actually past this boiler setup, so going to find a lot of room here over towards A.
Electronic comes a knock-in. Bit out into the balcony. That will force Hunter into the fight. And Electronic down and out. Contact on B. Nico gone early, and that's the smoke down, which is disrespected immediately. m0NESY, though, the flash will repel the invaders back into the smoke. And loads 2 on the dual Berettas. Nice back from Bit. Go either way as they charge. He's racing the bomb carrier, just trying to round the corner. He hasn't gotten to safety. He's going to go down unless he can fight his way out. Good luck. Have fun. Perfecto gone.
Time's a problem here, 11 seconds. Bit with no chance.
He'd like a kill. And m0NESY will take another 4 from m0NESY early.
Okay, that's one way to kick things off. And well, speaking of kicking things off, you've got map number 1 here between the likes of Outsiders and Complexity. This one, map number 1, Anubis, went all the way to overtime. And there's Chiron, newest edition. Outsiders will pick up that first map. And this is for the last spot in the Spodek. Liquid taking down FaZe to secure the 5th. And well, this would be for the 6th quarterfinal berth on the card here. No plant means no force buy for NaVi. Just a deagle in the hands of Simple. A couple of pesky P250s for Bit and Perfecto. And they'll just search here and see if anything gets offered up. But reflecting, I was going back and I was watching just the top-down view of this last matchup between the 2 of them on Inferno, just scrolling through quite quickly. And G2 always had so many different looks for openings. And even when they had the stack on the wrong side of the map, this is when the individuals would step up and get multi-kills. So I have a question, how many new looks can G2 continue to offer? And then the mind games start to build of, well, where does NaVi suspect G2 to be strong on that first gun round? Right? We've seen this map starting to trend more and more in the favor of the T side.
Makes that CT pistol all the more valuable.
Precisely. And a gimme like this, a round that G2 should be converting with very low investment. Just this deagle here, but it is the big man. It is the GOAT. It is Simple. Having a look.
And up against m0NESY. Perfect. That's why you put the M4 on his hands. He opens the round, and it is Perfecto with 1 back. G2 happy with that one. No harm, no foul. 2-0 out of the gates.
Okay, well, no AWP available for m0NESY just yet. We're way too early on in those financial decisions. Not enough accrued, but JKS will hook him back up with that drop silenced M4. We've got the rifles equipped now for NaVi, but looking to draw a little bit of early blood here. Simple to start things off with a deagle.
Let's have a look. Okay, dispatching 3 straight out, I say, as Hunter drops nades and runs back. Okay, well, what do I know?
They're not fighting for banana control here. Just a deep mid smoke. Standard play, m0NESY using the inclusion right there to try and find a little bit of a look for a freebie. They're mollied under the porch for now, but no pressure really applied up mid. It's Halls with 2, MPO and Bit, the duo.
Quite late to be mantling that boost, but safely set up now in their crossfire. Look how many bodies are here. NPL's going to get a rude awakening when he rounds that corner. NPL still gets the headshot. It's JKS that's farming up. A triple quad kill from JKS into the first gun round. He is definitely here and definitely delivering.
Oh, run and hide, Perfecto. Think he's going to be saving already. Found himself a extra piece of utility. Sure, bomb on his back. And yeah, okay. Well, he thinks better of that early call. It might be a look and see what he can find. NiKo would love to get himself a rifle upgrade as they still have this full mid lockdown, but they've foregone the B bomb site. So I said save. Let's see just how far Perfecto can get here. He can waltz on in, get the bomb down, smoke off towards CT, reposition, and this man, usually fantastic in the clutch.
It's true, there is a bit of a conversation to be had about Perfecto's capacity to close, but just by virtue of not knowing, the site has been wide open. He will throw the smoke down. That's going to maybe quicken the pace of NiKo's flank. And that bomb plant we were discussing, perhaps no longer a possibility. As here they come, and Perfecto, yeah, he's going to try and plant, perhaps to fake it out. Didn't quite get the sound. And NiKo collects. Very happy with that one. JKS early on, laying down the law here. They come to test his sight. He's got Hunter and Monacy, and he only needs himself. Multi-kill madness.
I will just want to note I appreciate Yanko kind of face-checking Maniac on the desk there. Justin has been doing this for an awfully long time, right? Let's not forget, this kid was the star player of Renegades and 100 Thieves, a team that made it to the semi-final of a major back in 2019. Let's not act like he doesn't have the ability. This kid's got it. It's just, let's say, some interesting teammates for a period of time that maybe took away any of that star power, but turning it back on a G2, they believe, and so does he.
Yeah, it's really cool to see the team as a whole definitely growing into the whole stack, the whole roster. I think faith in Hooksy's been restored and built. I think the start of the year was huge for them. We always knew Hunter and NiKo had the synergy, but in order to have all 5 on that same page, it makes them look so scary. I mean, the stats they were throwing out on the desk, I mean, come on. It's a very short list of teams that have done and had runs like G2 are having right now.
Yeah, 9 series in a row, 15 map wins in a row. Looking to make that 16 here on Inferno. And we can talk about their nuke streak as well. You have to go to the legendary teams like the Astralises, the NIPs to look at squads who have been posting massive streaks of rounds. G2 looking to become one of those names. They clean this up with ease. All 5 a start from G2.
Man, they look so deadly.
They're looking very confident. I think that's one of the keys, right? Like you can have good players, and if they're not confident, they won't be making the correct duels. And you do have to take risks eventually in Counter-Strike. We talk about minimizing mistakes, but it's also about finding the gap to make that play, which, if you die, would be considered a mistake. But if you get that 4K, if you make that impactful 2 kills, get that bomb down, find that entry through the molly, that can change the shape of the round. And well, speaking of changing the shape of the round, it's Blade on the mic, first timeout.
Yeah, and I think both of these teams, there's a parallel to be drawn as well in terms of the potency and necessity for scouting talent. Bit, remember we talked about their incredible find and the fact that he was winning a major in his rookie year, and then you've got Monacy, G2, really backing that horse without a single official played. They just knew he had something special. 0 officials, and you're dropping 6 figures and then some on a 16-year-old.
It's paid off, hasn't it? It is a huge risk, but to see this working, and I suppose when you come from the stable of NaVi, from Blade & Co., and now you see another one of those new names, MPL, just needs to be a safe pair of hands for this team. You got star power alongside, flashed off, and Hunter still going to make the kill. So much confidence to take that fight down mid when the AWP was flashed off, and still ready for the second mid duel is Monacy, AWP trained and at the ready. Oh, and the AWP has been signaled to start rotating back over here. Monacy called to help out NiKo and Hooksy on B. They do have the number advantage, so I'd be curious to see how much more space they're looking to take here.
Yeah, flash can be thrown at any time. Molly, actually, looked like NiKo was considering going for the element of surprise behind that flame. Thinks twice. Simple and Perfecto. Isolated now into a one-on-one, and Monacy provides as well. Simple, desperate to trade into the scope. And G2, flawless.
Oof, and they've been stalled out by their own utility here. Bit understood he needed to try and take some space. They know where the AWP is, but that was their porch side molly. They were just trying to get mid-control while these 2 picks came in. So the bodies hit the deck, the util flies out, and the round with 40 seconds left is looking very difficult here. 2 of the younger names in the server today. It doesn't look like they're going to leer too much more forward here. And, well, this time I think I can confidently say it will be the save.
But G2, 2-0ing NaVi consistently, as we've brought up on the desk. You've got FaZe who've not been able to take a map, Vitality taking one map. I mean, all of these names, these big names, unable to topple the Samurai.
And to think, you know, all the memes last year around Hooksy, like you could look at how troubled the team was, not making the major. That feels like a lifetime ago at this point. The pieces, they're all firing here. But I do want to echo the sentiments of Yanko as well. A team with Simple and Electronic, and Bit in that conversation, Perfecto when he's in firing form, how can you rule them out of anything? These guys, miracle workers in the past, absolute beasts of individuals, and they come from a team that we know has a strong coach and system. Their approach to the game here, you just have to go back to 2020. When this team won here in Katowice, sure, the world was falling apart. However, they picked the trophy up over G2 in that final, a quick 3-0 shutout. And there have been some woes for G2, especially Nico in grand finals at Katowice, so I'm sure they'd love to get themselves straight off to a semi-final, make things a little bit easier.
It's just a hop, skip, and a jump to the trophy lift at that point.
Quite literally only 5 maps.
Yeah, I was going to say, I thought you were going to say quite literally about 25 meters. Once you're on in the SPO deck, it's not far for the trophy.
They keep making that walkway longer and longer. Give you more time to savor that moment. But here's the 2 saved AKs and a couple of upgrades around it. Will there be an overstep here from G2? Deep banana control taken by Hooksy.
Want to see?
Yeah, Barrel will be spotted and dead. Great shot from Bit.
Brilliant. Some young gun action. Bit catches the rotation back in from long side. And in that very moment, the whole of NaVi start to lean towards that bloodshed. Like sharks. Starting to circle now.
Brave from Nico there with the AK. Spamming through. They knew exactly where that was coming from. Pretty tight doorway as well.
JKS, I mean, brilliant in this first test. This is going to be harder. Flashes in, and NPL takes him down. Hiding in the site is Hunter. So many NaVi members. They clear their corners. The frag comes through, and a flawless response. This was on a conservative buy. A couple of rifles, sure. Bit. NPL.
Yeah, they make the most of the save right there. The fact that both of them are able to get picks on those saved AKs, great. This is why teams do it, right? And Simple gets himself a free AWP, yet to frag short, but he'll take that upgrade right there. And Hooksy, well, just have to sit back and watch here as the bomb planted. 5-on-1 situation. And we'll call that NaVi drawing first blood here in map number 1. Their choice of Inferno, and good to see, right, that they can do it on these lighter buys. This is a trademark of NaVi over the years. A team that, you know, you just have a couple of guns thrown into the mix and they can make that magic happen. And it didn't have to be through Simple, so that's a positive too.
That's true, yeah. Bit nice contribution, taking down Monacy. And it just seemed like he just overlooked that. I think the pace by which he was making that crawl was quite forward.
Yeah, when I was watching back on I was watching on Shadow GG, just scrubbing through it. I was taking a bit of a gander thinking, okay, Apartments does feel like a place that they could try and apply a lot of pressure here because JKS gets left with Monacy or Hunter in certain setups there, and they focus more on locking down mid and boiler than Apartments. They're more worried about Apartments if they think it's going to be, you know, an apps explode with the pistols. So it could be a pressure point that Bit and MPO want to continue to here to try and push. But it was Monacy they found this time round. No timeout taken from G2. They understand this happens, but we'll get back into the buys here. Another one of those, and then G2 will have to start questioning their purchasing power.
It's not that I don't love seeing Calf get those frags, but Jay, we can sanitize those boys for next time. NPL. They'll be joining Bit on his adventures towards the Apartments, and it will be a little less manned by the defense to start. In fact, taking that up towards the B side early. Monacy is a demon around this half wall. Like, just peek logs and jump half wall at your own peril. That's all I'm saying. This man will exploit any mistake you make. Nico calling for that flash now. He can hear them coming. Perfecto on the clear. Flashes in. Perfecto turns, but the frag comes through, and Simple down 2. We've seen it before. It's like Groundhog Day. 2 up, isolated, and Monacy catches Simple on the attempted trade.
I thought Nico was dead every day of the week right there. Can't believe he got away with that. But back to Apartments, back to the crawl from Bit. JK's under pressure, flashed again and gone. Bit's found them space here.
There's a lot of space in there. Scarpering into the site. Hooksy saves them from a red face. Had that been the multi-kill, this round would have a very different taste. Oh, Electronic eats the flash, manages to get himself back into the apps, but you have to do something crazy, and Hooksy's the one to stop it before things could spiral. Double from Hooksy in that round.
Yeah, good stuff right there. You could see them screaming through that smoke, just understanding the situation. That could have gone either way. A 50-50 on the push. Again, that Apartments pressure coming into play. JKS blind once more. Couldn't see a single thing. And yeah, Bit did get 2, but Needed the triple there. Too much to ask in this situation. Electronic down to Hooksy. Another timeout called, again by NaVi. So
in your team room discussing, especially a series that you're so familiar with, you've had so many reps of, you've got so much tape to watch, and of course game experience you have under your belt. And then you get into the server, and sometimes it doesn't. I'm sure it doesn't match your expectation.
Well, this is there's a lot of things. Like for these boys, probably not the case. But matches when you are getting blown over, the rounds feel like they've gone by so quick. Especially if you're not getting any kills, you don't feel like you've done anything. You haven't been able to go through any mental steps, and you're getting no dopamine from those frags coming through to help your boys win the rounds. But there's also that meta within the meta that's built between these teams. So right now, where Hooksy is deciding to call the strength of these CT defenses is working wonders against NaVi. So they're chasing their tail. They feel that they have to mix things up. And Hooksy again, hyper-aggressive down Banana, a couple of light tags. And he's ushered them away.
Nice nade damage.
Oof, if that one followed through at the same time, could have been the frag. And aggression likely here. 3 players postured deep Banana. NiKo starting to rotate back now.
I really do love it when you see the team that didn't call the timeout throw something aggressive off the back of it. It seems like it's becoming more and more vogue that is the response. You kind of throw that in the bin. You know, maybe you can't execute it if you're forced to extinguish a molly and you lose a player early. Towards middle they go, denying that info, and of course no one's home. NiKo, Hunter, and JKS all towards this side of the map. It's NiKo on long side. Standoff with Electronic. That'll leave long locked. I say locked, can walk through. NiKo though housekeeping, and Bit from the apps. 30 seconds, these smokes are up. It feels like it's going to have to be one of these signature NaVi late finishes. Oh my god, NiKo's taken some real risks. Hoping to be overlooked, well held. Simple protects, saves Electronic, and now the bodies are dropping 20 seconds. Feels like a lifetime though. They got all the time in the world as the round falls into place and G2 fall flat.
Even with all the info right there, G2 knew there was no presence down Banana. They had Hooksy pushed, they had m0NESY on the AWP. 3 players over towards A. They tried to negate that pressure. NiKo trying to join the pack, playing through the fade of the smoke, but NaVi just won fights everywhere. So really good stuff for NPL. We really want to keep watch on him, right? It's not that this kid needs to be a star, but impact rounds like this, 2 kills on the way in. Fantastic work. And NaVi to grab their second. And yeah, sure, you're sitting here, you're thinking, okay, well, they're having to work hard for these. But when you're keeping all 5 alive, that's great. And then you think the other round was 2 saved AKs, and NPL had impact in that round as well. That's a real positive.
Yeah. I mean, in my personal standpoint, I think NPL is in the most unenviable position you could possibly be as a... I mean, sure, it's exciting to be representing NaVi. It's amazing to be paid to play the game you've been chasing. And a lot of people would bite your hand off to have the opportunity. It's just, when I say unenviable, I mean it from the sense that...
There's expectation.
There's so much expectation. Like, look what Bit did, you know? The bar's been set pretty bloody high. And every time, and we saw it, we know it exists, that, you know, NaVi are not going to be holding your hand through this. There will be expectations of you, and they'll let you know when it's not met.
Yeah, and I think that Blade, more tape he gets to help NPL, right, with that decision tree. Hold up, fast Banana here, a bit more
Very
aggression.
fast.
Lots of util used. NiKo still wants to fight. Flashed off for now.
Okay, but back on, the reaggress. NiKo so consistently destroys upon arrival NaVi twice. They've fallen and collapsed at NiKo's hands here on Banana. He's got more on the cards. Okay, NiKo farming up NaVi. He's in the Combine Harvester, just chugging along. Bit will put him down. I don't blame him for going for more at that point, but perhaps his teammates will if things do go awry. It's just Simple and Bit.
Can't get back now. m0NESY's watching mid. JKS in second mid here, so they're going to have to fight their way forward.
JKS is locking it down. I like this. Simple usually quite wise to that late flank T steps. m0NESY spots out one, and JKS, considering his options, he should have info to protect m0NESY here. And a free frag, Simple trades, a nice headshot, but needs a whole lot more. Fake the jump up. Does m0NESY bite the bait? Don't think so. Hooksy, good 4 at the frag. 7 already. And we were just discussing T-sides starting to look quite dominant on Inferno. G2 didn't get the memo.
Yeah, and I'm curious right now about the mind games of this, because every time NaVi have tried to go on B, it doesn't matter about the pace, they've been picked apart here. m0NESY's AWP, now NiKo on the rifle just locking them down. They've had success in the 2 rounds they've won over towards the A side of the map here. So you can sit here and go, okay, well, it seems simple, right? We should just go over towards A a little bit more. Let's not brave all the flames and fights. Yeah, it's not as easy as that because now Hooksy can call ahead of you. He can start 3 players over towards A instead of having the 3-man standard B lane for banana control. Keep Monacy's AWP looking for picks towards boiler, halls, and mid. So this is the mind games that are going to start playing into this here. And yeah, you understand why Perfecto needs to keep going through the paces, get this control. Right, even though they consistently fight for it, we need it. This is a key part of the map.
Nice change up. So now the flash and the retake utility's been dropped instead. Can G2 weather another attempted NaVi fight for banana? Flash is good, and they retake control quite aggressively, spotted out on the boost.
You know he's pinned here. They're going to try and isolate this sandbag player.
Go badly. And Hooksy is going to go down. Attempted trade. Nico only the one. Advantage NaVi. Simple, a little hamstrung, down to 28, and Hunter's going to bury himself deep into the site. Now, G2 will be wise to the names and the positions. All it takes is a touch of the scoreboard, no bit still alive.
And G2 are flying blind here as well. They're passive on mid. Hunter calling out U2 right now over towards B. This is where individuals on G2 will need to step up with a multi-kill, or this round will be very, very difficult. JKS over towards that short side on the balcony. Monacy towards long with the AWP, and Hunter trying to stall out this B play. It's so many different fights on so many different fronts, and they don't know when NaVi is going to hit just yet. But that decision, 25 seconds, will have to come in soon.
He's the one with the smoke as well for the second smoke of the set. Simple smoke CT, bit probably towards the coffins, and we are off with 14 seconds left. Hunter, if he could just disrupt a multi-kill as Chad has requested, NaVi will collapse here, and now he's been found out. The bomb's going down. He can't do anything about it. NaVi, smooth sailing. That clock is nothing. And Simple wants to take that AWP away. Monacy's going to fight tooth and nail to hold on to it as he does hit the quick scope and starts to moonwalk out of the site.
Yeah, see, it was all on Hunter there to at least get a kill or two, right? And Perfecto got that blind. I think if Hunter had stayed tucked the entire time and the flashes had come through from Monacy, then he could have had the jump on them. There wasn't enough time to go for that deep clear, but they knew they could ward off and defend the plant from those deeper angles. So well handled from NaVi here.
So in that scenario, even though it is, you know, so tempting when you're seeing 6 seconds and you hear the plant, you're suggesting maybe play for the potential retake, an element of surprise.
Yeah, well, they're going to expect something, right? If you run into the site, you don't see anybody. He's either behind coffins, on the boost behind CT, or in the back of that site, right? So they knew the options that were available to Hunter here, and at that point, it's protect Mr. President, right? Defend this bomb. It has to go down. When you play counter, look, completely blind. That's Monacy's flash that's come through from CT spawn, so great stuff from Perfecto here to pull this one off. Important kill. It doesn't seem like a whole lot, but it just secures that round. Removes an awful lot of pressure and pushes G2 now into just the 2 saved rifles and a couple of upgraded pistols here. It's going to be on the likes of Monacy and JKS to find some impact with these, and more so on the young AWPer. He can scare them away from Banana with 1 kill on the AWP here, right? If he gets that frag, even if he just does some damage, it might make them investigate. Hold up. JKS over the smoke, not being given anything just yet, but peering out wider and wider. Did he spot the barrel? Well, yeah, that's easy.
Brilliant find. G2 got all of these tricks up their sleeve. There's a dialogue going on right now as to whether or not that means NaVi are coming A or B. Smoke's up, reaction's good. Bomb's on its way too. And just walking in, happy to take these fights. There's a lot of bodies around here.
Looks he's screwed, they know where he is.
Yeah, and Hunter hard pressed to find damage. How does he get one on the CZ? Can't scavenge the weapon, but a deagle headshot from Nico does manage to take down Simple, albeit in 2. And now Perfecto. Hard to find a way in. A recovery from G2. A boost, a double from JKS, finding the second as well. And I think Nico's got the flank, the dankest of flanks. Perfecto going wide, and bang! The round is theirs, and sick round indeed.
That's with the AWP removed from the play, right? He was over towards B. So it's the fact that they can get so much done here. And this was one of the keys when I watched back that game, is all the different opening moves for picks that G2 have, right? The individuals multi-kills are great, but JKS with a boost here, right? They've had Hunter just pick down mid before, Monacy looking for fights all over the map, different variations. And the question, maybe not in this map right now, is when are G2 going to run out of that gas to have all of those variations? Because communication has to be on point, right, to be able to pull off those moves. Situational awareness and aggression.
Love it. Hooksy commanding his troops to go for a disrespectful charge straight into the guts of NaVi. NPL all the way down second mid. Can't quite believe his luck. Just mowed down, bit back onto JKS. Good find the T apartments, but the bloodshed continues as Hunter's holding W. Straight towards T-Abs. Pulls the ripcord after getting electronic. No, I don't blame him, but Nico, he's trying to burrow behind enemy lines. In the chicken pit. Can sweep second mid, call it clear, and surely Hooksy's going to want to set m0NESY up for this.
There's no way
so
NaVi can go back. They have to go B. There's just no way they can go back towards A. There's too many unknowns.
And m0NESY's taking this angle because, oh, he doesn't miss. The flash strikes for 13. And NaVi's hopes dwindle. He's just got those reaction speed tests. Passes them every
What is going
time
on?
with
It looks like
flying colours.
deathmatch.
It doesn't look like we're still in the warm-up right now. Nico just tickled down to 23. Will be run down, but Perfecto just taking weapons away at this point. Jump straight into Hunter. Lovely change of pace. You were just talking about running out of gas. They got full gas. Foot on the pedal. Pedal to the metal. And 9 secured. What a charge. You don't see fights like this. At 1 minute 33, you do not see fights like that. That is a ridiculous one considering how little Simple gave. And yeah, Nico just tapping heads as well.
Yeah, beautiful rounds here. And that's obviously choreographed. That's a move. That's something that they've worked on here. And they pull it out. And they're just battering NaVi. Like, NaVi are having a really difficult time dealing with this. If you can't just get your defaults going, you can't force the CTs to be passive, you can have such a rough time. And again, we just have to return to the proactive nature of G2. A different look once more. 3 towards top banana. m0NESY and JKS dealing with A while they fortify that B bomb site. And I think taking a bit of a mental timeout on NaVi right now. You can see just allowing all this early utility to be burnt through.
JKS has got the bomb delivered. Express, simple delivery.
I don't think he can quite believe that either. Guys, Simple just brought us a gift. Shall we lock this one down? Hunter says yes. I'll take a second smoke. Thank you very much.
Now Nico knows his role has changed. Survive and report.
I don't quite believe just how dynamic they're able to be here. It almost feels like a fever dream. Are we sure this is G2?
This is new G2. 2023, a different year and a different breed. Double peek, gets the one, bomb, still a battle for bit, good luck, and dead. Hunter catches him through the walls, up to 10. I mean, we were just talking about how T-sides have been running away and having an absolute whale of a time on Inferno, but not here, not with NaVi G2.
We know the recipe in modern Counter-Strike if you want to be the best team in the world. FaZe showed us that this time last year, right? When they went on, they won Katowice, they won Cologne, they won the Major, right? They won the big ones. And to do that, they needed 4 stars, right? It wasn't just 3, it wasn't just 2, they needed 4 stars, and an in-game leader who could also step up and contribute. And G2 have found that recipe here. JKS can't just be your average support player, right? He needs to be a star player coming in clutch. That's why the reference about Perfecto, right? We know how much impact this kid can have. Well, you need to be able to replicate that. You've got Nico, sharp as attack. Hunter can do absolutely everything and more. This guy, very pliable. And m0NESY, a star on the AWP. But Hooksy now, he's only got 6 kills, but the shots he's hit have been great. His aim looking on point here too.
Can't believe we didn't think of this before, Chad. Why have 1-star player when you can have 5?
Damn.
Giga Chad and 4 absolute Rocketeers, superstars in their own right. We are ready to see if 12-3 is really a potential reality.
Well, right now you can see... Oh, I thought they were trying to fortify Hooksy back over towards A here. He dropped all his Utso and he's returning for a moment. So Nico just trying to ward them off towards the top of Banana, scooping up... Yeah, there you go. Any residuals. It was actually Hooksy just... he's a delivery surface right now, so back and forth from spawn.
Inspired by Simple.
And now they're playing 4 top mid here. So as we mentioned, 2 of the 3 rounds that NaVi have won have been over towards that A site. Only 1 of them over towards B, and that was in the final 6 seconds with that bomb going down.
It's crazy. I think there's 2 more smokes by Nico, so he can just keep that locked.
Such a strong mid hold here. Both boosts under the balcony.
Yep, you just can't... This is We've seen how this goes. We've seen it twice, how this goes. They're going to try it again. Can they find a different result? NaVi jumping in to the jaws of G2, and it's Bit to try and be the change-up. It's just one from the balcony. Perfecto got low. Smoke to try and grab the bomb. Nice parkour, evades the nade and rounds the corner. Still though, they are close. Multi-potential as he gets the first, and still the pressure's on him. By virtue of the roll, CTs will likely... Oh, fade, JKS! The ball's on this lad.
Yeah, that's the key right there. That was a 1v3 where they were offering up 1v1s. That's definitely not what you do. They're just playing such confident Counter-Strike right now, and you can understand why. 11-3. This is a blistering hot start here from GT. Looking to replicate the success they've had against NaVi all year. Looking to replicate the success they have had all year. Looking to extend that 15-map streak to 16.
Honestly, I think at this point, NaVi must be feeling like they're a bit crazy, like a bit insane. I mean, the definition of insanity, expecting a different result while doing the same thing. Every time you find yourself up mid, it's the same result.
G2 feels strong everywhere.
Yeah, it feels like they've got a couple of extra players running around, throwing the nades, spamming the smokes. They're everywhere and nowhere at the same time. This is the setup that's even more notorious. Want to see a Nico. Can they rumble on the fade? Want to see Eyes of a Hawk and AWP as well. Gone in a flash is Electronic. Nico builds off. It's been very repetitive for Electronic. The poor guy has not been able to catch a break on this first half.
Well, I think they know Bit.
Chicken?
Yeah, he did. So they now know Bit is Ender Hall. So,
even the chickens are on G2's side.
yeah, that's one way to get a whole boatload of free information.
Yeah, okay, Lurk Smoke. Onto the hay bales with you, and JKS, everyone, nope, guessing by what we've seen, he's coming straight into the fight. Bit works it out, finds the first, maybe more to be said here. Hunter known now on the default, over the smoke, Bit will prowl, finds another. Being the hero for NaVi. There's a reminder of what he's capable, a triple to get NaVi into the A site.
G2 have to go for this last round here in the first half of play. Nico and Hooksy on the retake. 2-on-3 situation. Bomb's just gone down. And divide and conquer.
Yeah, coming in from two different angles of assault. Not really slowing down for anyone here. Bad flash, he's still cooking. Up short. Smoke will enable a bit of a walk as well. Nico's crawling through. Bomb half gone, Bit's present, and that's Hooksy with another frag. NaVi are going to absolutely pull their hair out. If they go down to Hooksy, getting all the kills, Nico closes! And that's 12! 12-3, a 2v3 to take us there.
What a
Madness.
commanding half this has been from G2 here. Phenomenal, seeing smiles on the faces. They are sailing to victory on NaVi's map choice. We're heading into a break, but don't go anywhere. This could be a quick one.
Yep. Coming close. Three. Two more.
Wait, hide.
Two. Cannot hide.
Coming to me.
4.
Nice. I'm running a bit long.
Listen. Yeah, sure. I'm playing side, okay? He has to come up and
I'm
pick on
picking
me.
library, you guys, okay?
He's still here.
He's still short, yeah?
Yeah, unless he's
I'm
walking around the boiler.
I'm going around. Dude, I'm holding left side of side, okay?
Not boiler, he's not boiler just.
You can cross it, yeah?
Go back
I'm
to
holding the
monkey
bomb.
level.
I have
He can go long.
Don't
here.
short. Okay.
One here. Sure.
I'll kill him.
He's up short. Yeah.
Nice! Sick round, guys. Good job.
Nice, Justin. Nice right there.
Yep.
Coming close. Coming.
So they save one gun.
James the Redeemer.
Yeah.
So, saw how he was posed just there?
No, I was looking at
Oh.
the kills that we didn't see. But Complexity at least can buy up around it. Or was he doing the double fist bump where he puts
He was
both
doing
his
the double
arms
fist
out?
bump?
Yeah. He puts them out with
And-
like hands up and lets people just slap him, doesn't he, usually?
Oh, dude, I can't get over how that feels like, you know, that's rough. They try to run through the dumpster smoke. It's a move that for me was always really associated with the current Cloud9 team. They love that on overpass, coming through the dumpster smoke, trying to use it against them. But coupled with that flash from the outsiders and the pistols, feeling like they had nothing to lose, really, already spilling up into the site. It was one step too far. Now the money is on the line for Complexity, and at this point, outsiders are on the verge of putting up a great T-side already. They win this round and go 6-3 up. There's nothing for Complexity in the next.
This is just such an annoying T-side to play against because so many of your options as CT are aggressive moves, right? Especially on A, like taking mid with Molotov, climbing up party, doing like double long pushes. But Outsiders are the perfect team to remedy this. They are so late at even getting out into playground, for example. Fang wide in connector and Flip beats him to the punch. Cole really want to force these early kills, but Outsiders will not give them the satisfaction. And a round again where Halzak is solo A gives a huge gap. And of course James managed to find it. Moving all the way up long right now. There was a flash thrown for Fame. So Halzak knows they're up long, but ooh. He saw a player. And he didn't want to move away, not yet. Molly makes him decide, and he commits to it. Nice kill for Halzak. Got to care long, though. Still getting played with as they drop back down into B. JT gets that kill, and that's going to change the game as well. Fame is so far away. Kicker's out Monster all on his own. He knows they're short, but does he know about the pit? Doesn't matter.
This is something quite special, a spectacle to behold, and I don't know how often this will happen. I mean, we know G2 are indomitable right now. We've talked about their records, the desk have outlined it, and Chad has laid it down, and this is becoming a bit of a problem for NaVi, a team that seems to have their number. And I mean, they have every team's number right now. G2 looking hot to trot. T, well, they don't need many. 40 rounds after a defense like no other. 12 in the bank. Electronic a single frag.
They say seeing is believing. I don't know if I believe this at all. Still, the 1x bet odds, yeah, they definitely do. Blown out in G2's favor, understandably so.
Hunter had something new for me.
And you spoke about Electronic having a rough time of things. Simple as well. He's only got 4 kills to his name. It was Bit, the only one who was really finding too much impact here. MPO had a couple of rounds where he got a kill or two to help them get up to this tiny haul of 3 rounds. This is going to be a B execute. Now, last time they played, NaVi only had 1 B defender. They were playing retake.
He's holding a decoy, Chad.
Okay, well, that's going to try and bait out any reactive utility here from MPL.
Oh, not falling for it. No, no, no. A nice attempt. You can see MPL's already got his smoke cocked. Pin pulled. G2 with the Fnatic smoke. Molotov's off is a different variation to try and take this B site. They're going to try and fight Ruins, run him down. Odyssey charging in, losing a lot of health as he does actually catch the nade. NPL defense is on her. Catches one back. Perfecto good onto Hunter. Electronic with the dualies. Oh, and they do get the bomb down. Damage inflicted onto Hoopty. They will run him down. And he's still got 11 bullets to spare. No problem. NaVi remind us that this is a 2-horse race.
Yeah, and Perfecto there with a bit of a grin on the face. That's a good one to pick up. A nice little move there from G2, but counted every single step of the way. So great work for NaVi dealing with that. And I think it's important as well for Electronic to get a couple kills. Right, we saw him against Liquid just the other day, right, when they qualified. It was an overtime matchup on Anubis, and he was loving it, right? Had a choice word or two for Yakinda over the fence, but he was getting fired up, extremely animated. And here, well, he's been animated on the other end of the spectrum. Frustration boiling over, represented by 1 kill within that first half of play, and this is going to feel good, because if you're in-game leader, if he's having a hard time fragging, especially an impactful in-game leader like somebody like Electronic, it affects the whole team, right? He's definitely not trying to, but if you're feeling the game as someone who's entering, taking space, making the calls, it makes everybody else's life a little bit easier.
Just ask Hooksy. As you can see, he's actually doing exactly what you've just described. Taking some initiative, taking some space. Calls for the flash and calls it clear. Sandbag's still uncertain. You can see the complexion of this buy from G2. It's a jumble sale of different weapons, and Nico, his deagle, is deadly.
They needed to send him forward first in this fashion to draw out that smoke. And they have to probably draw out a few other bits of utility as well before G2 try and finish onto a site, because they only really have enough to go for 1 clean execute. 3 smokes, 2 mollies, a bunch of flashes. And the more that they can draw out here early, and there's another one, the better opportunity they'll have of turning this into a firefight where, yeah, NaVi still have the better of it. That's a nice little find here from MC. Smoke, Molly, and a HE. Who's going to go scoop that up? Nobody from NaVi seems to be moving over just yet. But speaking of moving, Nico, he's searching right now.
Yeah, and he's the kind of player that can clear a site with just the sidearm. Perfecto at full M4, Kevlar vest, and the sound will be heard, but in retreat. Now pressure towards the A side of things. A lot for long, smokes will bloom, and Hooksy can continue to try and forge a path into this A side. The setup is clean. NaVi counting on NPL. Good on the MP9. And good setup, simple. Shuts down another. With only 15 seconds left, they've got to run to their death, or perhaps not. Nico with another. Suddenly G2 in the conversation, only for a moment, as we do see that time ticking and headshots being hit. Nico goes down. NPL, another impactful round from him. We're going to keep tabs on that. A confident NPL going to be making a big splash for NaVi.
Yeah, and I think he might not be the flashiest or at the top of the server or anything along those lines, but you need to give credit where it is due, right? This kid getting the call-up from the academy team was brought in just to play a couple of maps with SDY. They were rotating through the two of those players. We've seen that before with the Flamey and Bit experiment all those years ago. And now he's been brought in full-time. So for him, his brain's like a sponge, exponentially learning going on, and the better he looks in situational Counter-Strike,
here we go.
more faith we can have.
It's going to feel good. This is going to feel real good as Electronic taking a nice jump up the scoreboard as he's getting himself $600 a pop and an ace added to the list of Katowice. Not even a smile on his face, but a round in the bank for NaVi.
And it is great, up to almost 7K there. So the AWP available for Simple here if they would like to bring it out within the early stages. But he's really turned things around. Sure, it's eco bashing. Someone's going to get him. Why not Electronic?
Yeah, and that's also one of the perks of an in-game leader. You know, you can set yourself up for a couple of those, and it is also a necessity, of course. You'd rather see the SMG get it than the rifle. And still some SMGs. I thought we might be seeing some upgrades, but no greed here.
That's the 15th ace of the group stage. That doesn't include the play-ins, where we definitely had a couple as well. So quite a few for a compilation for any of those movie makers at home.
Let's see. And our first taste of G2 on the guns, and oh my god, a well-placed jump from Electronic, and he just keeps running down Nico. The spray, hard to escape. Nico down.
That one probably feels better than the full eco ace, because just how cheeky it was, and the name that you've taken out of the server here. Gonna have to sit and watch for the next minute and 14 seconds as NaVi should be able to secure this number advantage on the bonus round. Great conversation starter for a comeback.
Yeah, not one to be ruled out. Discussion's been had about matchup specific and all the nuances that come with it. NPL spots out the pressure towards short. Falling on balcony as Hooksy continues to show face towards B. It's leaving heads scratched at NaVi despite that numbers advantage. Simple got nothing to report on mid, which is valuable information at this time and stage.
If they execute B right now, Perfecto has held onto a smoke, and guess what? Well, the man you just mentioned starting to get a move on for this rotation. They're not going to block with the smoke. They're going to create a wall at the back of the site for Perfecto to play around here. Well timed.
See if Hunter can get anything done already, getting a lot of damage through the smoke. Electronic will finish the job now. Up to 10 as he ascends, and more from Electronic. That MP9 has earned him thousands upon thousands, as well as a 7th. You talk about grounds for a comeback, a clean one like that from NaVi. Add that to the list.
That's beautiful there, and I love this defensive smoke back of the site when they're playing with multiple members here. This is the opener, and Nico blind, dinked. He didn't even know what happened. Where the hell did that come from? Electronic just being a buzzard in Banana, and such an annoyance here on the boost. Perfecto dropping the smoke towards the back of the site. That can even be used with one-way variation. So, of course, the attention of G2 is glued, trying to look for that fight, and Electronic profits. So this is NaVi. A very strong case on this CT side.
Shut out in our opening.
This is an A-set piece being lined up here from G2. You can see them just jigging the util around. The fact that they've upgraded with these pistols, with this utility, it's got intent. And you like to have a pocket strat like this to pull out in a moment when the economy's not feeling fine.
We get to see how NaVi adapt to this one. How do they react? Not sure that's the smoke he was aiming for. Perhaps it's enough. They get them out the door. Now they just get to find a way in. Hunter onto NPL.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, and Hooksy onto Simple. Okay. G2 just walk in.
Waltzing up mid, taking the space, hitting the shots, and forcing NaVi, who are looking brilliant out the gates. Well, namely, Electronic looking brilliant out the gates of this second half. 11 kills already, and he didn't even get a chance to be in this play. Well, that pocket strat couldn't have worked any better.
No, that's perfect. That's flawless. And what we talked about before.
Come on now, Hooksy. P250 taking that fight.
Be reasonable.
You know where they are. You can call the boys over. You don't need to overextend on your own. He will. Electronic does grab another.
But we saw NaVi win one of those, and now G2 match it.
Yeah,
on
this
their
was a bit nicer put together, I would say. Warding them off for now. JKS can... Well, he's run in with the Tech 9, but they'll hold on to the 2 rifles here, NaVi. And Electronic, with all that extra cash, right, he can now drop 2 guns if he would like, and he doesn't even need to because his teammates have more than enough money here. But that was wild, right? That mid-sight smoke that came out, the fact that Hunter just gets that opening felt absolutely free. Here it is, MPO trying to transition into sight. JKS grabs one as well. These Tech 9s. Crisp stuff here.
Yeah, I mean, if you're hitting the first bullet, it's a damn good pistol. Demonstrated by G2. Okay, 13, a bit of robbery from the G2 Samurai. Seems like G2 would like to ask initial questions of B.
Ooh, nice little hops there from Simple. They're not actually pushing the issue. When we saw G2 do this, they were much more proactive in looking for the top banana fight. So Simple is hoping to catch Nico on these jiggles, right? We know that Nico almost single-handedly is just a marauder up banana, one-man army in a lot of occasions, just that AK aggressively looking for fights. But this is more well put together. JKS with the standard top mid util, deep long smoke, porch molly, flash, but it will be a B hit.
And Simple. Unable to find the first. Now they're already covering a lot of ground across the pool. Perfecto caught out and in to a site. And will it be a retake? So it looks like they're backing away. Simple unwilling to question it. It's not going to be easy, maybe even impossible. And so would rather hold on to their guns.
Worried about that lurk as well because JKS moments before disaster on the B site was applying a bit of pressure top mid. Now he has made sure there's no way back on down to banana. But if I'm Hooksy, might be calling a couple of lads to investigate and try and take away a rifle or 2. This is 14 secured. NaVi looked good in the early stages of this CT half. But how quickly the tides can change here. I know Striker, I was having a chat to him before. He was talking about this 15-map streak that G2 are on right now. And it's like, yeah, this is very impressive. You know, he's having his geeks at HLTV dig into just how impressive.
Right.
He was mentioning how Tai Lu in China, you know, have these crazy, like, 30-game streaks. So you look at something like an Australia Greyhound had, like, 2 20-match streaks. But this is top-tier Counter-Strike. Those teams I mentioned are from small regions. And the teams in Europe who have been fantastic at exactly that, at NIP, the 87-0, right? You have to remember that. And teams like Astralis with these streaks as well. G2 in the modern era. Let's see how long this can last. It's looking good for 16 right now.
And definitely an argument to be made that it's more impressive now, considering just how competitive Counter-Strike has gotten. There's so many teams. You know, how often have you heard players in the last couple of years say anyone can beat anyone at the highest level? For G2 to be able to find this consistency, and at the start of the year, I mean, the start of the season, we've got so much to look forward to. If they can maintain this form, we'll see what it does to the rest of the best.
You could almost argue not qualifying for the last major could have been the best thing for this roster, especially if this is the form that continues.
It's certainly a nice way to encourage some hunger. Hunter. Calls mid clear. Smoke still up on long side, so information not quite there, but they've got plenty of time to shape this one up. The double smoke towards long side. You can see those crisscross. And a flash for good measure that will repel NPL. And Hooksy on a bit of a one-man mission here. Will sweep through, spots one out towards that mini pit. Oh, and Hunter onto NPL. We've said that before. Now with Simple on the site, should be good.
Oh!
Missed his shot. Hunter doubles up. The site now surely lost. Unless Bit can do anything from the pit. They know where he is, and Hunter deletes destroys. Nico's already on the hunt. Just by virtue of his positioning, he knows they'll likely be cowering on the site. No need for them to move.
They will chase now.
Oh my
Chase.
God! This is bullying! Cyber bullying! The smoke just faded. You're like, okay, let's go save, and okay, double.
I was just saying, JKS is already on the way. Hooksy's in CT spawn. I didn't need either of them. It was just the cousins here. The combo.
Simple even fire. I mean, you can see these crouching through. Yeah,
I don't know how Hunter gets the better of him there.
that's mad. And the third for good measure, you know, Bit just gets his vision back. He's like, oh, I'm playing Counter-Strike again. How exciting as he loses his
This
head.
double here.
Mad, look.
Look at the transfer as well. Bosh.
Straight to the head. A cheeky smirk on the face.
Now, I will say, I did hear Hooksy just saying they have nothing, which is not true. They have an awful lot. They have an AWP again for Simple and 4 M4s. Now, Electronic, I think he had a whole bunch of money to come into this. He had over 10K for his investment.
So they're not counting on those MP9 farming frags.
But maybe Swanee just had a word there in that timeout that was called by NaVi, and maybe could set the record straight. Hey, boys, it's not going to be as easy as you think.
Yeah, let's see if there's any crazy maneuvers early. Well, Simple reveals his AWP, and Nico probably tucks his tongue as, yeah, that's the jig is up and jumping. Perfecto, that was very brave, or was it stupid? Hooksy for the first, Electronic for the trade, and now Banana is his. NPL set up in mid with Bit. Simple, a second frag from him. Yeah, this one definitely seems to have just slowly petered out for G2.
I wish this was my version of nothing. That one will at least rattle around the brain here of G2, unless Hunter and m0NESY pull off a 2-on-4 situation.
There's grounds for it if m0NESY wants to, I was going to say clear into the site, but he'll throw the smoke out instead. Wants to mantle over and clear that pit.
Simple's coming.
And Simple will likely finish the job. m0NESY mantles up on towards the balcony, spots the retreat towards the apartments, and there's 8 for NaVi. Now, the run back, it's going to be laden with pitfalls. It's not going to be easy. You've managed to muster 3 T rounds. And now perfection required. G2. I mean, to be returning to this map, we've seen G2 get the better of them, albeit in a variety of different ways.
Yeah, well, the most recent is pretty damning, isn't it? 14 rounds over 2 maps of play here, and now they're looking to hold them to a 16-8 scoreline. Just one more required, and well, now they know that the AWP is in play here. You see a different pace. They're coming real fast, but Simple. On to Nico again.
Yeah, but a different result in the sense that G2 will leave with top Banana, Hooksy holding that. Perfecto dipping into the site, Electronic to rotate back, and looks like Hooksy's calling for some setup.
Yeah, he wants a flash here. Likely the entry flash from m0NESY. This will give him the pick on towards CT spawn. And across. Oh,
And out.
yeah, for a second. And now again, another one of these situations. And this time round, Hooksy didn't get the trade back. It will be a 3-on-5. G2 traditionally do pretty well in these type of situations, but they don't have any site control. They don't have any space. They do have 2 smokes, 2 mollies, and a flash, however, and that sounds like the recipe for a nice little B execute.
Let's see if this recipe can cook up any trouble. Simple gonna immediately extinguish, which implies to G2 it's gonna be a bit of a head-on collision. m0NESY pulls the trigger first. Okay, Perfecto has to dip off that. Will they really expect a second in the same position? Perfecto reveals himself, needs frags, gets one, quick trade. G2 are in. The bomb's not, though. On that CT smoke, m0NESY, hard clear, and a good shot to NPL. He's gotten him in. And now the two of them, JKS and m0NESY, going to try and take the whole round, take every frag, finish this map. He's cleared him. Oh, not far off. Just spotted the back. Where's the help? Electronic gets the frag, and m0NESY, oh, how is he alive? He just bounces. Oh! And that's a way to finish. Stunning from m0NESY to close. Salt in the wound, sprinkled in with a stylish one from the team. That's nuts.
15 maps become 16 now on the trot here for G2. Very happy with that, and a stylish way to do it. The flash, the namesake. You're seeing it in play right here. But that's only map number 1. G2 delivering. They want that semi-final spot.